What's up, YouTube? We're back. The car is done. Still working through some issues. I'll get to those in a second, but let's just do a quick recap. I purchased a Rec 360 8 months ago. It came from California, and shortly after it went to Rick at Collision Pro. Over the last 8 months, he's been working hard to get the 360 back to life. Oh, I've helped too. Why did I buy this Rec 360? 1. I've wanted a Ferrari 360 my entire life. When the car first came out, I was about 11 years old. Already being interested in cars, this and the Diablo were very influential in my supercar aspirations. Being born in Italy, I felt a special connection to these cars. 2. The car was in the price range where I felt like it could be fixed and not get buried in negative equity. More importantly, it was in my price range. And 3, it had the rarest of options, a sunroof. There were speed bumps along the way, COVID, issues with the headlight and bumper, see my other videos for those, a few other videos as well. I got a dog, and now we're done. Almost. So I have to work out the registration, which is what I'm going to talk about right now. So you may have caught in an old video when I was fixing the Ferrari door locks where I talked about the registration process as it pertains to Georgia anyway. And I talked about where I was at in that process and how you can get it all done. Well, since then, I've sent the paperwork to them and everything seems to be just fine. But they sent a document back saying that they needed 2 appraisals in order to get a fair market value for my car. I can only imagine the issue they're having is as they're issuing me the rebuilt title, they're also trying to figure out how they're going to tax me the Georgia Valorum tax that you have to pay on registration. So they need 2 appraisals to see what the fair market value is on the cars. Now, I can't help but to feel slighted here because not only am I doing the homework for them, they're also taking up my time and my money to pay for the appraisals that I have to now turn in just for them to turn around and then charge me tax on the research that I've done. So I feel kind of cheated in that way, but unfortunately it's something I must get done. I don't know any other way around it. I've called the local office. It's just something I'm going to have to deal with. There's nothing easy about this car or this process. So that's where we're at today. Okay, so I got to do the state's job by getting an appraisal done. By the way, I've got to shoot a first impressions video of the car for sure, but I really don't feel like I can enjoy the car with all these kind of things hanging over my head. So today's video, sticking to the appraisal. The car's got to get done. I need 2 appraisals for the state, as I mentioned before. So today, what I'm going to try to do is, 1, I have a friend who really helped me out, Kevin at Alpha Detailing Specialist. I'll drop his information in the description below. If you've seen some of my other videos, he's detailed all my cars, the ceramic coating, all that's done by Kevin. Kevin's got friends everywhere, and he found somebody who's going to help me out with an appraisal. Hopefully it gets done this afternoon. Also, shout out to my buddy Raul, who also found a friend who I think is also going to help me with an appraisal. I'm waiting to hear confirmation about that. But in the meantime, just for fun, I'm going to see if I can take it down to Carmax and have them do an appraisal. However, if they're going to want to drive the car, I'm not going to do it. I definitely don't want anybody joyriding the vehicle. However, I was at Carmax for a completely different reason a couple of months ago, and due to COVID, they actually weren't driving vehicles. They were just kind of giving you a pre-appraisal, and then they finalized everything when you actually went in to sell or trade in the vehicle, which is what I'm hoping to get done today. If you go on their website, Ferrari is not even listed as a vehicle to schedule an appraisal appointment. So we'll see what happens. It's worth it to at least drive down there because it's only about 10 minutes away from the dealership where I'm supposed to get an actual appraisal done. So I'm really hoping I can time this up. So on my way to go get gas, and then I'm going to shoot down to Carmax, and that's where we're at. All right, so I'm just leaving Carmax. Those guys surprisingly are really cool. I felt it was best to just go in there open and honest. I told them exactly what was going on, no intentions on selling the car, etc. Everybody was really nice about it. Everybody was really cool. They did the appraisal. However, they were much busier than I anticipated. There was like 2 or 3 people in front of me who were waiting on their appraisal to come back. I didn't want to sit and wait, so I just asked them to email it to me. And I'll probably get it, I'm assuming, in an hour. So I'm going to cut the video off here, and we're going to fast forward 1 hour. All right, good morning, YouTube. It's actually 2 days later. I got all the appraisals done, actually mailed them in. So we're going to wrap up this part of it. I'm going to flip the camera around and grab this out of here. In an effort to hide my personal data, we're going to fold it up a little bit. So you can kind of see here, this is just all the stuff, had prior paint work and, needs a new dash and all the things that they ding you on. It's perfectly fine. And the total estimate came out to $23,000. Now I know what you must be thinking. That's a terrible number, and it is, but it's nothing for me to be upset about because, again, they're using this number to determine what they're going to charge me in Georgia ad valorem tax. So actually I want that number to be as low as possible. And also one thing to remember is I'm still in the process of getting the new title. So right now the title is showing as salvage, which is what's killing the value of the vehicle. So I'm okay with this. It's playing to my favor. So I've got the paperwork sent in along with the other appraisals. The nice thing with the other appraisals is I gave them this information and the other appraisals came in right around that same number. Maybe to do me a favor, partially maybe, but also because they just trust the appraisal and they figured that is also fair market value as the condition the car sits in. Could be a little bit of that too. Something else to keep in mind is what a dealership or an appraiser appraises the vehicle is a lot different than what the vehicle sells for on the market. Perfect example is I had a Gen 1 Viper that was appraised in at $12,000 or $14,000. Now this car was basically completely restored on the exterior. Interior was in really, really good condition. Not perfect, but really good condition. So the car probably looked, between exterior and interior, maybe 5 years old, 10 years old. I mean, it was a really well-kept car. And ran well. Tires still had a lot of tread life. Anyway, so they valued the vehicle at like $12,000 or $14,000. Let's just say it was $14,000. However, you can't buy a Gen 1 Viper, particularly in the condition that mine was in, for less than $20,000 probably. And with the condition and everything considered, and all the work that I actually put into it, that car is probably fetching mid-20s, high 20s, realistically, right? So the appraisers are not looking at necessarily what the cars are trading for on the market, but what the cars would trade in for at a dealership or sell possibly wholesale based on auction information. And when you have cars like this, there's usually not a lot of auction information out there, right? These are usually trading between dealers or private party, not necessarily on auction. And when I mean auction, I mean wholesale auction. So there's a lot of different things to consider there. I am by no means an expert, but I know a little bit how the game's played. So I'm perfectly okay with these appraisals. They're going to play to my benefit. I've sent the information in. I'm waiting to hear back from Georgia as to what they're going to charge me for ad valorem tax. So for right now, we're going to say that this part is done. I'm probably going to shoot a video of my first impressions on the car, and that I've actually had it for 1 week now. And then whenever I get the information back from Georgia, we'll probably shoot another video. Until next time.